Okay, we're on. Right. Okay, if you go to the end of your mat, I'm just going to turn sideways. Okay, knees are nice and soft. I'm just going to loosen up the body. So I'm just going to roll the shoulders and then roll them back. So we're just going to be kind of quite curvy, just opening and closing. Okay, just stretching, waking everything up. I don't know about you, I'm a little bit stiff this morning, I'm not sure why. Okay, just roll the shoulders backwards and forwards. It's not any particular way, everyone's body moves slightly different, okay? So I'm just going to roll the hips around in a big circle, just pressing out the bum. If you're running at the moment, your hip flexors will be very tight, your lower back. So just roll around, circling, knees slightly soft, and then let's roll the other way. Bum out, and then roll it back round again. Again, it doesn't matter what it looks like, you're in your own homes, don't worry. It's a big circle. And again, if you're a breaststroker, butterfly, really important that you have a nice, flexible hip, lower back area. If you're trying to improve your fly, let's say having a hula hoop really helps if you can hula hoop. Okay, hold it there. So feet about hip width apart. We're just going to go into our forward fold. We're going to go down into our ragdoll. So looking to get the chest down. So we're just going to go nice and slowly because things are just waking up. You'll still be a little bit stiff. Allow the head to fall. And then just take the hands, bend the knees. And we're just going to pull everything in and just drop that head all the way over. Just allow it to hang nice and heavy. And slowly come back up again. And one of you dropped off the cord. I will let. Okay, so this time we're going to go again back over into that ragdoll. So each time we do, the movement should get a bit easier. So just slide down, bring the head, soft knees, and then grip behind, allow the head to hang. And then just when you're there, just allow your hips to just rock backwards and forwards. And allow what I call the stretch to go off, okay? Hold it there. Bring the hands down and then come all the way back up again. Okay, just holding it here. I'm just going to press one hand up to the ceiling. And then draw down through the elbow. And we're going to take the other hand up to the ceiling. And draw it down. Okay, final time. We've got two that are obviously late joiners. And then draw that elbow down. Press up. Draw through the shoulder blade. Nice and tall. And down two more. Pull from that heel, so you're running all the way along the side and down. Lift and down. Okay, so just turning back, we're going to go into our chair. So planting through the heels, rolling the arms through, lifting the chest, and we're just going to sit down into that chair position. Hold that position there, long fingers, and then allow my hands to float down and my hips to push up. Drop my head into forward fold. Slide my hands up to the knees and press into that half fold. So my back is flat, my chin is lifted. I'm looking to try and just straighten those legs so my hamstrings are switched on. Nice deep breath in, head down, just walking through into that high plank position. So just slowly bring down, cores engaged, shoulders are over wrists. Just holding this position here. Lower the knees down, point the toes, and then slowly lower all the way down. Bring the knees together, and we're going to press up into our mini cobra. Elbows stay bent, hips stay pressed down. Just hold that position, necks nice and loose, Lower slowly. Take the hands around behind, place them onto your bum, engage the shoulder blades, and then we're going to press up into locust. So my feet come off, my hips are pushed in, I'm long, and then slowly coming back down again. Okay, from here, place my hands underneath, tuck my toes in, and we're going to slowly press all the way up into downward facing dog. So press, lift, and nice and high with my hips. Into my three-legged dog. Foot is flexed, weight evenly placed. Bring my knee in, into high lunge, place and lift. Chest is up, heel is lifted. Turn my foot to the side, into warrior two. Hands are shoulder height. Just turn my hip slightly, slide the hand down, and lean back up towards the ceiling. Tuck in, over into extended side. Bring the hands back, both knees are straight, shoulder height. Flick out that hip or reach across, turn the palm, take it down to the leg, hand up to the ceiling. So we're into our triangle. Feeling that stretch in the inner thigh, being long through the body. Standing up, turning my feet so they're both forward. Slide my arms down to my ankles and then drop that head. Hips are nice and high. Again, we can bend the knees. Hands in the middle, and we're going to drop into a side lunge here. So we're going to drop here and lift the foot. So you're going to kind of sit on top of your heel. We get a nice deep stretch. Now, if you can, come up, and we're going to go into a balanced position. Bring the hands back down, and then press up to standing. Okay, go to the other end of your mat so we keep even on the body. So into that chair, press the hips back, lift the chin. Float those hands down, hips up, drop the head. Each time you do this, you should feel a little bit more flexible, a bit stronger. Slide up into that half fold. Looking to try and flatten my back, my chin's lifted, my neck is long. Slowly back down, walking through into that high plank position. Again, remember, keep the bum engaged, back strong. Lower those knees down, point the toes, and lower all the way down, nice and controlled. Up into that cobra. Tuck the elbows, knees are together. Lower nice and slowly. Take the hands behind, just onto your backside. Squeeze the shoulder blades together, and then lift up into that locust position. My feet come off the ground. I'm strong through my core. My neck is nice and loose. And lower down nice and slowly. Hands come back. Tuck my toes. Very slowly pushing up, then take my hips nice and high into downward facing dog. Up into my three-legged dog. Foot flexed. I'm long through my spine. Bring the knee in. Take it, try and get it really far forward. Up into high lunge. If you need to alter your feet when you're up, you can do. Warrior one, lift nice and high. Turn that back foot into warrior two. Arms shoulder height. And just lean into the stretch. Turning the hip into reverse warrior. Or sun warrior, as some of you know it. Tuck in into extended side. Don't allow that hand to drop. Press all the way up, so you're making a long line from the heel all the way to the fingertips. And coming back up again. Both feet are straight, but they're still in the same position. Shoulder height. Flick forward. Turn that palm out and take it down to the ankle and turn up to the ceiling. So we're in that triangle position. Really squeeze that hip up to the ceiling. Try and keep those legs straight. And coming up, take my feet both forwards, slide down, and then tuck into that. So someone called it straddle, wide leg fold. Take the hands to the middle and we're going to go into that side lunge. So you're basically sitting on top and we're lifting up the foot, okay? So my heel on this foot's up and I'm resting on my heel. Then I'm going to look to raise my chest. And if you can, you're going to go into a balanced position. So this is about core again, and it's about introducing just some different moves for you. If you're not comfortable with that, just leave the hands in the middle, but keep the chest nice and lifted, okay? So imagine someone's pulling through your spine. Nice stretch in the inner thigh area. Allow the feet. I'm going to go into what I call kind of a crab position. Raise up and come all the way to the middle. Just slide those feet in. And what we're going to do is just sink one foot down and the other. And we're going to come into our, well, some call this hero, I call this thunderbolt, I don't know why. So knees are together. So we're sitting back on the ankles, working on the ankle flexibility as well, okay? Those of you who have got maybe problems with the knees, you might want to come up slightly and then reset yourself. Okay, so just holding here, we're going to take a nice deep breath in. Reach the hands up nice and high. Hold there. We're just going to bring down through the middle. And then just allow the hands to part. Again, press palms to ceiling. Big stretch, bring it together. And we're just allowing those shoulders to be a little bit more mobile. Hands to part, one more. Palms to ceiling. Big stretch. And here to part. Pressing the hand up, this reaching to the side and leaning over. Try not to lean forwards or backwards. And again, don't allow that hand just to flop. Keep it long. Be as tall. Allow everything to pull and stretch. Press the hand away. Lift it up nice and high. And then take it over to the side. So you might just take that hand out. Press the hand down. So this time we're going to take opposite hand to knee, to here, and we're just going to look to press round. So you're going to press on that. You're going to open out the shoulders, turning the head. And release. So take that opposite side. So you're going to put some pressure on and you're going to open out that shoulder. So you're going to try and twizzle around like an owl. And relax. One more time. So take that hand in, really open out the shoulder. If you've been sat down over your computer, big stretches, these are great. Also before swim, working so that you get that full rotation through the trunk. And so onto all fours. So just center yourself, shoulders over wrists. We're just going to go up into that cat. So we just stretch out the vertebrae, drop the head. And all the way through into cow. And again, pull up to cat. And all the way through into cow. Sit the heels down, interlock those fingers, and we're going to do seated cat-cow. So we're going in, and we're rounding out. So you're just trying to arch that back. So I'm going to turn to the side. So we're going to really hunch over, and then we're going to extend and really press and open out that chest to the ceiling. Bring it, hunch all the way over, and extend it to the ceiling. So we're working on that upper back. And one more, hunch it over, and open it back up again. Excellent job, just dropping the hands down. Take them around, open out the upper back, hugging your beach ball, your tree. My neck is long and relaxed, but I'm pulling those shoulder blades apart. Okay, just placing my hands forward, and I'm going to just walk back into my 4-point position, and then I'm going to allow my hips to go through into my upward facing dog. So my hips are off the ground, my arms are straight, okay? My neck is long. We're just going to twist one shoulder all the way back through, and then you're pressing that hip to the ground. It's just working through the back, and just allow the hip to go towards the floor. Just gentle movements. And hold it there. Press all the way back to child's pose. So keep the arms long. Press those hips, forehead to mat. Be as long as you can. Then come up and through. Allow those hips to fall all the way to the ground. So they might go further towards the ground this time. And again, we're going to just twist for 4, 3, 2, 1. Back to the middle, and then press back into that child's pose. Keep the hips nice and high. Be long through the spine. And again, great for your ankle flexibility. Slowly bring the head up. So we're going to go in and start working a little bit on the hamstring. So come up into an upright position. You're just going to take one leg, and you're going to be into a kneeling lunge. So try and keep the knee over the ankle and keep the hips square. We're going to put hand up to the ceiling. So we're going to stretch out this hip flexor, and then we're going to pull and lean into our bent leg. So I'm leaning across to my side, stretching through. And relax that down. Okay, take my hands either side. I'm going to lift my knee up. So I'm going into runner's lunge, okay? So runner's lunge is when your hands are either side, your hip is off the ground, and you're quite low. Just hold this position here. And we're going to just take the hands to the side, and we're going to go down lower into lizard, okay? So we're going to try and elbows onto the ground, and we're going to drop that back, but my knee stays off the ground, okay? So this is the more intense stretch. If you can see, my knees still up, my elbows are going to the ground. Really pressing my thigh. Allow that knee to come down, and then just into a lower lizard position, okay? So allow the head to drop, and we're going to go low to the ground. Press the hands up, keep the knee low, hands either side of the knee now. So this is called crescent. Now, if you are comfortable and you have no knee problems, we're going to lift up and through, and we're going to bring that lower back in as well. So this is a crescent lunge. So really stretching out those hip flexors. Really good for our runners. Bring the hands down. And then from here, we're going to transfer our weight back, and we're going to stretch into the hamstring. Bring that foot up, Front leg is straight, but if you can see, I'm not sitting on my heel, I'm just pushing my hips back, looking to straighten this leg. Hands at either side for support. And this is our half split, okay? So really stretching. Those who want to, you can take your hands to your feet and you can just look to get a deeper stretch here. And then we'll come back up to our first position. Walk the knee back and we're going to change sides. So I'm going to turn to you a little bit more this time. So we're going to take the other leg. So my hips are square. My knee is over my ankle, okay? I'm going to take the hand, grip on, and I'm going to pull towards my bent leg. Try not to wobble, keeping my core nice and tight. Just holding this position, and then release it. Take my hands either side, and I'm going to press my back foot up. So I'm into my runner's lunge. My hands at either side, and my knee is off the ground, okay? Now from here, I'm going to go from my runners into my lizard. So I'm looking to get my elbows down, my knee goes out, and I'm sinking down to the ground, okay? My back knee, you can see, is still off the ground. So you should feel this really into the hip flexor, also the hamstring into the butt, okay? So drop that knee down, and we're going to go a little bit lower. So my knee is now on the floor. My head is dropped down. So I'm going to walk my hands around to the side. So my knee's still on the ground. And then again, some of you can just stay in this position if you want to. If you're comfortable, you'll go into that present where you lift up, lifting the chest and allowing that hip just to sink into the ground. Just holding that position. And take those hands back down, either side, and then we're going to bend the back leg and we're going to straighten the front, bring up the heel. So we're into that hamstring, into that half split. So I'm not trying to sit on my back here. If you notice, my hips are still up, and you'll feel this in the back. Those of you want to increase the stretch onto the ankle, and then you can look to just drop. You need a little bit of balance for this, and I'm not good on this leg. So both in, let's have another go. No, I'm not going to get it this morning. And then looking to press in, okay? So you might want to do it with one hand to begin with, and as your balance gets better, you can do it with both. And then coming back up, and then walk those knees back together. Okay, we're going to sit back on and just relax them off. Okay, from here, we're going to go all the way through into upward facing dog. So reach out and allow the hips. Tuck the toes into downward facing dog. Press the hips up nice and high. Up into three-legged dog. Tuck the knee in. We're going to come all the way through into pigeon. So tuck through. Allow the weight. So I'm not sat on my foot. My hips are square. And my knee is off to an angle. So stretching nice and deep into the hip. Also into the hamstring. Walk those elbows down. So you can see some people will have their hip much closer to the ground. It just depends on how flexible you are. Then I'm pressing myself back up, tucking my toe, and I'm going to go all the way through into a plank position. So to here, and I'm going to press up into my downward dog. Three-legged dog on the other side. So here again, we're using the hamstrings, opening up the hip flexor, bend my leg in, into that pigeon, so crossing through. So this side I'm a little bit more flexible. I'm not sat on my heel, my hips are square. And walk those elbows down. I'm going into pressing back up again, tuck the toe into plank, and I'm just going to drop my knees and then come back into a sitting position. So stay in that position. You can grab your belt. So we're going to stretch off our feet. So we're going to go into our up and overs. So again, the wider you have this, the not easier, but you're more mobile. So you're looking to go up and over the top. Now, just depending, you're looking to just get that mobility through the shoulders. If you've had any injuries, if you've had any breaks, you will end up with a slight bend. But just looking to go up and over, just working on those shoulders. Let's do 2 more. Over the top. And 1 more. Okay, allow the feet to just come down. We're going to take the band up and over our head, and we're just going to take it over to one side. So you're going to try and pull that arm down and really stretch. And take it up. So you're keeping the tension and you're keeping the arms long, but you're just pulling, really stretching. This is a nice move. Come back to the middle. 1 more time the other side. Pull. So I'm a bit more flexible this side. Come back to the middle. Opposite side. Back to the middle. Drop it down. Okay. Just bring the feet round. We're going to go onto the hamstrings with the belt. So here, I want you to just hook it round one of your feet, but keep both knees bent, and I want you to lower all the way back to the ground. So walk those feet in. You're going to straighten the leg with the band, the other leg will stay bent. Very slowly, you're going to pull that band up to the ceiling, keeping the hips onto the floor, and you're going to pull it until you feel that muscle heat up, feel it bite, whatever the word you want to use. I'm just going to hold it there. If you can, pull a little bit more. Remember, if it shakes a lot, just release it. And from here, slowly allow it to go out to the side. So we're stretching hamstring, but we're also looking to stretch the inner thigh. Other knee stays bent. Put it back up to the center. And if you can, pull a little bit further in. My neck is still nice and relaxed, but my hands, there will be some tension on my hands. And then just slowly, nice and controlled, lower that leg back down. Okay, change sides. Bring this knee up, so it's flat onto the ground. Other leg is straight. I'm going to pull that up, nice and high. I'm going to hold the position there. Again, you should feel it in the hamstring, you should feel that bite. I'm just going to have to move because otherwise I'm going to hit the wall. So here, we're going to allow it to just drop out to the side, but looking to keep my knee up. Just stretching the inner thigh, opening out the hip, working on the hamstring. Pull it back to the middle. And then we're going to pull a bit further in. Very slowly bring that back down again. Okay, just hook both feet on, and you're going to pull yourself up. And then from here, we're just going to stretch the hamstring a different way. Nice and tall, you're going to walk and you're going to pull yourself in, keeping the chest up. Just allow it to drop over. This is stretching all of the back of the leg, also into the lower back. So this is a forward flexion. Nice and tall, one more. Walk it in. Tucking in.
We can get a bit further the second time.
Okay, allow, pop the band off to one side. Just bring the legs into that bound ankle position. Opening out the hips, sitting up nice and tall. Again, you're not trying to press in. We're just trying to allow flexibility there. Just bring the elbows over the top and just lean forward. Just stretching out the hips, also into the hamstrings, lower back. And relax it back. Roll the shoulders. Okay, just take the legs into an easy cross position. Big stretch up, nice and high. Float the hands back down again. And again, big stretch up. Bring your hands to heart. And we are done for Friday morning, guys. Have a fantastic day. And I look forward to seeing you tomorrow morning at 9:30. I'll send the information out tomorrow.